This is your neighborhood friendly ranter speaking, and I'm going to review a movie that I've really wanted to see for about a year now. Came out 2010 in select theaters. I really didn't get the chance to see it, but that movie is Gantz. Now, for any of you who have ever read a manga or watched an anime, you've heard of Gantz. It's one of my favorite franchises as far as anime and manga ever. Hyper-violence, over-sexual, of course, I'm gonna like it. But, this movie, as far as a live-action depiction of the anime and manga, is really spot on. I really loved this adaptation. I thought it was definitely the best I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot, because a lot of people really liked the Death Note movies, and I just couldn't get into them. The CGI was just too campy, and it just didn't interest me all that much. Shinobi, which was a live-action adaptation of Basilisk, was terrible. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Too much CGI, and just the characters are so it's ugly. The characters are ugly, and that's not in a aesthetic face kind of way. They're ugly in the stylish sense, in that it's just god-awful to look at. But then again, how can you turn that anime and manga into a live-action series or live-action movie? But this actually does really well. It's very stylized, just like the show, and it captures a lot of the hyper-violence that the show has to offer. It tones down the sexuality a little bit, which I don't really mind, but for guys who've seen it, for fanboys, you're going to be disappointed, and I'm sorry. But as far as the adaptation is concerned, it's just spot on. You can't get any better than this, especially in a market where the CGI is rampant, especially in Japanese movies. But this one, the CGI is actually so good in parts that I really questioned whether it was even CGI or not. And that's good CGI as far as I'm concerned. The part where Gantz summons them and renders them or whatever, that part I really had to question if it was really the female lead or if it was CGI. So they did really well in that aspect. And the parts with the bad sort of CGI, they didn't stick out. I mean, it was very subtle, and that's probably because of a lot of low lighting choices. So it kind of plays off of each other. But if you get the chance and you like the anime and you like the manga, go and get this movie, rent it on Netflix, whatever. And even if you're not a fan, go pick up this movie. It's super fun to watch. There are a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of action and violence. So go pick up this movie, and that's my review.